Hey, we're here at PAX AUS 2017, day one. I'm looking over there now, and we're here with, hey, who are you?
Hi, my name is Bajo.
Bajo. You may know Bajo from Good Game, and you've been in a bunch of other films and television as well. What are some other things people might know you from?
Yes, I have been in a bunch of awful films and awful commercials. I once did a condom commercial, which is animated, and no one ever got to see it, which is fantastic because it was also terrible. Lately, though, I've been streaming a lot more. I've been streaming on Twitch. I also write some children's books, and generally just a general online internet weird nonsense man.
So you're almost a fixation of Australian youth, obviously being a Good Game spawn point, but also, you know, you're almost up there with like Noni and Mr Squiggle as sort of the people that we tune into as kids to sort of get the lowdown on well, in your case, video games.
You know, I would never compare myself to Mr Squiggle. That would be arrogant of me to do so. It's a really interesting thing because Good Game was on air for 10 years and Spawn Point has been on air for about 7 or 8 now. And now I get people coming up to me saying, hey, I used to watch you when I was a kid. And it's so flattering and lovely. Also makes me feel really old, but it's a really interesting thing. Like when Good Game ended at the start of the year, we just had this flood of emails, and I started to comprehend the impact the show had on a lot of people. You know, we had a really beautiful team who like worked so hard over the years, and we're all so proud of the work we did. And knowing that it had an impact on people, and that it's a really beautiful thing. It's such a humbling thing to hear.
And you've obviously still going with Good Game Spawn Point, but has that ending of Good Game left a bit of a void that you've then filled with the live stream, or?
Absolutely, yeah. So when Good Game ended, I had to think about what do I want to do next. You know, like I've been making a TV show about games for over a decade, and I love it. I'm not learning a lot, you know, but it's really fun, and the team is amazing. They're so lovely. So I was kind of, but also like I have no savings. I'm not very good with money. So it's kind of like, well, what do I do? And so still making Spawn Point is like only one of my 2 dream jobs ended. So I still have one of my dream jobs. But what I really miss is the intellectual discussion of adult games. I really miss that. And I also need to think about my future as well, because like, you know, I'm getting older. You can't do kids TV forever because time wears your body down. And I think Spawn Point will go on for a long time. But you know, I want to add more things to my toolkit. You know, you really need to, I think in this industry, in media in general, you need to have like a lot of different tools, and you got to pull out the right tool for the right thing. And some gaps in my knowledge and my experience were live streaming and live stuff in general, and esports, those things. So esports I'm still working towards, but like I wanted to get better at talking ad-lib, live, all that sort of stuff, and Twitch is just the perfect way to do it, and the community's been so welcoming. I'm learning a lot, and I just see such a big future in streaming in general. Like I feel like it's just starting, and I kind of missed the YouTube boat when that happened, but I feel like Twitch is kind of just starting.
Well, it's interesting because obviously you're well versed in television and film, but is there a transition onto Twitch that you weren't expecting? Like, were there some roadblocks or hiccups that you came across and sort of had to get past?
So many. For a start, it takes you like a couple of months to learn how to talk, you know, in that way. There's just the ability to like play a game and then pay attention to a screen that has chat on it, you know, like that to and fro communication, that's hard. It takes work and practice, and just kind of settling into a groove of talking and the pace of which the way you speak, you know, settling into that groove of it, that takes a few weeks as well. The technical stuff is a huge barrier for a lot of people too, but it also depends what you want to do. So my streams like I have like cat cams and like cameras and all sorts of overlays and stuff, but a lot of people just have like 1 or 2 scenes, and that's fantastic. Like that really works for them, and they connect with an audience that way. I love the technical stuff, and I love TV. So I guess what I'm doing is injecting the things I love into this other thing that I love now.
Yeah. So when people tune in, if you haven't tuned in to Bajo's stream, you certainly should. But you have a lot of cutaways. When subscribers donate or when they subscribe, they've got a lot of videos. You rap occasionally. There's sad clowns. So what side of that is coming through? Like, is that sort of that technical side, wanting to throw in all these little extra bits?
Totally. Yeah. I'm a pretty nonsense person in general, but also like. I want to do my own thing, so I purposely didn't watch a lot of streamers, you know, or I just kind of thought, what do I like to do? And I started making some little fun videos, because like making videos is what I've done for the last, you know, 15, 20 years or whatever. And so I started doing that, and people seemed to really like them. And so at first I just had like 3 videos and would play them all the time. But now I try and do like a video every stream, just something new. You know, it's a bit hard with my schedule at the moment, but I'm fixing my schedule soon, so I'm going to do more streaming in general, really. But I just wanted to, I wanted to do my thing, and I think I kind of finding my groove still a little bit, but I'm still learning about why people watch Twitch and why they come to Twitch and what they're looking for. And really, I think they're looking for personality. They want someone to hang out with. They want to be part of a community. And for me, I feel like somehow, I'm not quite sure how it's happened, but we fostered this beautiful little community who are called Bajonians. Yeah. It's such a beautiful, chat is so beautiful. Quite often after a stream, I'll sit back and I'll re-watch the stream and just read chat and just feel warm inside. Like, they're just so lovely, and they're so good to each other, and they look after each other, and there's no toxicity. It's just this like warm vibe. And you know, when I started playing games, for me, it's always been about community, playing games. That's how I met my friends, that's how all my friends met their friends. You know, it's like playing games together is a bonding thing. And games are so interesting now. There's so many different types of games, and so it's just like, this is community in its purest form. You know, the only thing that would be different is if I could see all their little faces in real life at the same time. That's the only next step that I think it could go to. So yeah, it's a community. It's just like it's a community vibe, and that's why I guess I'm drawn to it.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of game or pop culture and gamers seem to be the jaded gamer or the angry gamer, you know, but you've gone a different direction. You've gone for this absolute positivity, and you've constructed this community around that. Was that intentional going in, or did it just sort of manifest organically that way?
Pretty organic. I don't really know how it happened. I think you know, I feel like if I think about animals, right? The more love you give to an animal, like the more you look after them and give them affection, the more you get back. And that's how animals work, and we're animals. And I'm a pretty positive guy when I play games in general. Like, I play games for fun. I've done my competitive stuff when I was younger. You know, I don't rage out on stuff like that. And I think working so long in the games industry, and like I'm a scummy critic. Like, I don't make games. You know, I'm scum. I feed on what they make. But getting to see the hard work that goes into even a small game, you know, I've really grown such a respect for developers and the stuff they make. And so the mantra we had on Good Game was always a celebration of gaming. And so I kind of inject that into my Twitch streams, because I want to celebrate these games and the great things they do, and celebrate the people who play them and who enjoy them. And I feel like that's just my attitude. And I think I think people connect with that a little bit, because it is such a warm fuzzy feeling to celebrate something in general, you know. Yeah, I say I'm a funnel for their love. Like, they show love and I funnel it back to them.
So you're like a river to your people, kind of.
Yeah.
Now, for people who may be watching this, saw you on Good Game but haven't seen the stream yet, what can they expect, you know, the first time they tune in?
Lots of close-ups of my face. I really like doing close-ups of my face because I'm a narcissist. No, I guess it's nonsense, a lot of nonsense. I play lots of different things. So some streamers like really good. They're really good at one game and they play that game and they do that really well. People watch it for their expertise and and talking to that streamer about the strategies and watching someone really good at something. I play a lot of games a little, as opposed to like one game a lot. Yeah. So I'm not great at a lot of games. I'm not competitive in a lot of shooters and that sort of thing. I'm too old anyway. Once you pass 21. It's so hard to be competitive in any kind of Twitch stream for this thing. I guess you see a lot of variety stuff. Like, I like to play all the new releases, of course, anything AAA, but I have my favorites as well. You know, I love Dark Souls. Any kind of Souls-ish kind of game is super fun. But I like really silly, stupid stuff too. And also every week I always play games with the subs, usually on a Sunday with Sub Sunday. So all the people who are kind enough to subscribe to my nonsense, we all kind of play together. And yeah, but I also do like cooking streams on Sundays. I'm really bad at cooking, so that's been an experience. And I guess on top of all that, sometimes I build furniture, descale my coffee machine. I'm going to do one of those soon, that's exciting. And sometimes I just lie on my back. I put my back out last week briefly, and so I had a stream where I just lay on my back for a while. I know, it's a hangout thing, and I find there's a lot of cats as well. My cat's cam is always on.
So we're going to see maybe in the future, like Aerobics Oz style with Bajo, first thing in the morning stream.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, 11 a.m., not first thing in the morning, but I'm going to get an exercise machine. I've got a little area set up where I can do exercise streams. So if you want to hear me like just breathing into a microphone for half an hour, but I feel like I need someone to help me do it. And I live on my own, and there's no one to help me exercise, and I need to exercise. So I feel like if I were to do that every day, just a little half-hour exercise stream, maybe people can help me, support me, just throw some good vibes at me to keep me going.
Well, speaking of your setup, and you mentioned sometimes you just lay on your back, but you do have a lot of cameras, and you have the cat cam, and for the cooking stream, obviously you've got cameras set up in the kitchen. But what does your setup kind of look like, or how did you put that together?
Sure, it's always an evolving kind of thing. I've always loved having cat cam, so that's just always there. And they're always doing cute stuff. I have Chasey Cam now, because sometimes they run around the house and do cute things and backflip off walls, and so I always have Chasey Cam set up as well. And I've got one for the kitchen, because I like to have little coffee breaks. I've got a camcorder set up for I built like kind of a little mini studio with a desk and all. My supporters are so lovely. They just send me stuff. Like they send me little figurines and Pods chocolate. I got to stop eating those. They sent me coffee, and so I've got a shelf, a real estate for them. Basically, I'd say 70% of my house belongs to the Bajonians, belongs to the people who watch. But that's okay because they moved me to this house. Like I needed NBN to be able to stream, and that was a big thing that happened after about 2 or 3 months. I'm like, this is really fun. I want to do more of this, and to do it properly, you need good upload. So they paid for they broke my lease. They paid for the break lease fee. They paid for the movers and boxes. They paid for everything. It's so sweet. So that's why I'm in this new place, and I guess that's a setup. A lot of cameras, a lot of cables in my house.
Now, it sounds like you're quite beholden to the Bajonians, mostly because they own your house, I guess. But are there any games where you're just like, no, I just want to, I want to just play this Bajo time, just solo, not on the stream?
There's no Bajo time at the moment because I'm still doing Spawn Point, so I'm reviewing and shooting for Spawn Point. On top of that, I write children's books as well with Old Mate Hex, my old co-host. I also I'm trying to do more drama stuff. I did a drama series last year called Trip for Biscuits, which is a little plug there if you don't mind. It's my favorite thing ever. It's so lovely. It's so fun. I'm really proud of it. It's this kind of Doctor Who for kids. And all those things, streaming is such a big part of my life as well. Pretty much this year, all I've done is all those things. I've seen my friends about 4 times, except online, because I'm just enjoying it. And when I really enjoy something, I was like, no, I got to do this. I want to do this. I want to do a good job. And they're so supportive of me. I am beholden to them. I feel like it's this incredible thing where everyone can come and watch Twitch for free, but people choose to donate and subscribe and support you. It's this direct link to what people want. So everyone is my boss, but also I'm my own boss. It's perfect. It's such a dream job, and I'm so lucky that the community's been so welcoming to transition to this, and so lucky that people turn up every week to watch. It's just I'm just so lucky. So I want to do a good job for them. Is what I'm saying. I want to do a good job for them.
We were talking just before the camera started rolling about D&D. With the rise of sort of Critical Role, Acquisitions Incorporated, people are playing D&D online, in streams, on stage, they're playing Star Wars. Do you think you could see you getting a group together and doing something like that in the future?
I would so love to. I mean, my editor for Spawn Point, he is such a big D&D guy, and he is my DM. He's my DM, Dungeon Master. For those who don't know, he runs the campaign and plays all the NPCs and enemies and stuff. He's bugging me constantly. We got to do this. We got to do this. I have done it once before on stage with Dragon Friends. Do you know Dragon Friends? Yeah. They're fantastic. They're so good. They are so good. Do check them out if you can. They've got a podcast which is amazing. I'd love to do that sometime. I think right now I need to focus on like the things I'm doing now, and then like next year I have heaps of plans for. I want to do all sorts of things. All sorts of things. I want to bring in guests. I just want to really break out of what. It's great that Twitch let you do whatever you want, really, within reason, without breaking terms of service. There's so many things I can conceptualize of doing with this thing, but my objective is to branch out to stuff like D&D if I can do it right. I think you got to do it right. You got to like practice it. You got to practice it first. You got to have the right people, the right setup, and I feel like everyone should be paid as well. That's the thing, right? I've worked for so long with so many people who've kindly worked. We've all done so much free stuff in our lives. I feel like if I'm ever going to do something like D&D, I want to pay everyone. Like I want to build it so I can get big enough to do those kinds of things. That's kind of the end game, I guess.
And obviously you're a big tech head, so you'd want to get the audience interaction going. That's what makes the Bajonians so special. You got that interaction with the audience. Now notice you also have things that cut away. Are they on keywords? Are you hitting short keys? What's going on there?
I have a few things. I've got a little numpad that I use for my quick shortcuts, but I've got a Stream Deck which has like 120 scenes programmed into it. So it's all like I like the business. You know, I love technical stuff, and I like getting better at things. I'm always trying to think of ways to like streamline the process and streamline how I can do all the technical side of things. I think I'm at a pretty good place now. Everything's quite stable. I don't have as many crashes as I used to. There's new versions of software I'm using coming out that have better memory handling. So everything, I've got to upgrade all my videos to 720p right now. No one can probably tell, but like I can tell. I stream in 1080, but all my videos are 720 because but now I can put those up now to 1080, and then there's new capture cards coming out which let you do 1440p and 4K. I found with 4K capture cards in the past they have a little lag, but these new ones apparently there's not much lag, but they all say no lag, you know, whatever. So I'm excited about the technical things that I can do in the future, and I'm also excited about hopefully one day moving somewhere where I can have like a warehousey kind of vibe. So like my life, I'm not tripping over cables when I just go to the toilet.
Get all those plastic bits on the ground to put the cables on?
Yeah, totally, yeah, wrap them all up and just like, I just want all the cables kind of hidden. I want to be able to just walk into my studio and click on and go. And right now I have to walk into my studio, move 10 things, turn on everything, fix whatever mess up has happened, which always happens. There's always some software thing that goes wrong. And then like takes me about an hour to get started just about every stream. I want to be able to just walk in and click a button. That's my game. Yeah.
Now I want to step away from the stream for a minute and talk about the Stephen O'Donnell, the Bajo. How are you enjoying the new Doctor Who?
So good. So good. We're trying to do I do a show called Whovians, which is a Doctor Who talk show on the ABC with Rove and a bunch of lovely people. And it was so fun because this season of, we started it for the latest season of Doctor Who. It's so fun because they really, this is the last Moffat season. He's left the show, and they have a new showrunner now, and that's a transition which is going to be really exciting to watch. And this season as well, they really tried to make it more of a season for everybody. New companion, and she's fantastic build, she's amazing. And it's now more accessible, Doctor Who, you know, like anyone kind of jump in now and kind of get it. And that are some really beautiful episodes. I would say 80% of the episodes in this season have been good. 10% have been amazing, and then you always get 10% trash. But that's, you know, it's because sci-fi is hard. Yeah. Doctor Who are trying to make a unique sci-fi idea every week for like 12 weeks, something unique. And it's so much sci-fi is derivative. It's all derivative, and I mean that in a positive way. Like it all comes from somewhere, and they're trying to do unique stuff every week. And sometimes they absolutely nail it, and that's such a rare thing in science fiction.
Is there any other science fiction you're on board with that is doing things you like in that space?
I would love to say STD, Star Trek Discovery. It's called STD. You can catch STD every week.
Talking about STDs every weeknight.
I want to like it. I'm liking it, but not because it's Star Trek. I'm liking it because it's sci-fi, great acting, mostly. They're still finding their groove a little bit, some of the cast, I think. But incredible production values, a really cool, dark story. But it's not Star Trek. It does not feel like Star Trek. It hasn't got the humor of Star Trek, which is one of the main reasons I love Star Trek. It's actually a really funny show. And it doesn't quite have the heart of Star Trek. It's all a bit like Battlestar Galactica, which I do like, but those early seasons and a lot of when I think of Battlestar, I think depressing and hard work, you know, and it does that really well, and it's interesting to watch. But that's not what I want from Star Trek. When I think of Star Trek, I think of Picard playing a flute, you know, and I think of all those humorous moments with all the different characters, because it's really about the characters. And I feel like with this one, they're making it too much about it's too much about the war and how tough war is, and it's not fun enough. And sci-fi needs to be fun. This is why Marvel do it so well, and DC don't know what the hell they're doing in a post-Nolan world, because they're making it way too serious. It's got to be fun.
We're not allowed to bash on DC. Our camera woman Emily's a big Superman fan.
I'm more of a DC fan than Marvel. DC have Batman, they have Superman, they have the best villains by far. Marvel, I think, are doing a better job with their superheroes, and obviously a much better job with their films. I love DC. I want DC to be successful, but they need to lighten up.
Speaking of lightening up, we saw that you're handing out wink cards. What are wink cards?
I'll give you. Do you want one? Yeah, sure. So everyone who subscribes to my channel gets a wink card.
I'm not a subscriber though. Is that okay?
I have one. These are PAX edition wink cards, and they can put it. Some people put it inside their computers. Some people carry it in their wallet. Some people throw it straight in the bin. But it's just a little card. I make these, and like a few times a year I send them all out to the subs, and I feel like it's just a nice little thing to do. Nice little thing to do. That one's from Spook Week. Where I just played spooky games for a week. It was good fun.
A Halloween spooktacular. I love that.
Pre-Halloween. I actually thought Halloween was Friday the 13th, but I got that wrong. But I just went for it anyway. It was good fun.
Have you organised your Halloween costume for all the Halloween parties that are going on this weekend?
Yeah, I'm just going to be naked. I feel like that's scary enough for everybody.
Yeah, well, you know, I guess you could go as an ABC presenter. That might be some people's nightmare.
That's true. Yeah, I could go the ghost of Bajo's past. A ghost.
I'm sorry. Go as a rubber chicken.
Yeah, ghost rubber chicken.
A bulletproof rubber chicken.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We do have a question. How are your cats going? Are they, because they're obviously back in Sydney, have you got a cat sitter? Is it just the AI that you've programmed to look after them? What's going on?
I've tried that, and you can't trust those auto feeders. Sometimes they malfunction, and then the food gets stuck and they just switch off. They're all terrible. There's not an automatic feeder for pets that isn't terrible. They're all so bad. So I have a friend looking after my cats, and that's good. I think they need the company, and they need to know the person, you know. They're doing really well. 8-Bit keeps licking off her fur and getting like little scabby infections, and I don't know how to fix that besides giving her another shot of antibiotics. Quasar's great though. They're about six or seven now, I think, and they're so cute. They're so adorable. They've got such crazy personalities. Like all cats have the little things they do, and I just love the little things they do when they run around the house, and their little idiosyncrasies, I think is the right word. You know, like Quasar always, whenever I come home, he flips out and he spins his head around and flops on his back. And you know, when I wake up in the morning, it's always to 8-Bit pushing her face in my mouth because she knows that wakes me up. She's taken to licking my forehead lately to wake me up.
Now, obviously, you were kind of used to the life in the limelight, being an actor and being on television.
The ABC2 limelight. So beige.
How are the cats dealing with being famous?
I don't think they know. I don't think they understand that they're internet cats now. I have noticed a slight smugness to them. So perhaps they have got a bit of an ego, and maybe it is based on that. Well, they could just generally, cats are kind of bastards anyway. So yeah.
And finally, do you have any advice for people who are also looking to get into streaming, maybe once the NBN has rolled out to, you know, the rest of Australia? Do you have any advice for those people?
Yeah, I think, you know, like I've only been doing it, like, seriously for 6 months. I've only been doing it for 9 months, really. I think the most important thing is people come to see you, you know, and every time you do something, it'll be bad at first. Your first few streams will be awful. Things will go wrong, no one will turn up, it'll be depressed, and it's tough to get into it, but I think if you do good work, if you try and be so good that you can't be noticed, that you can't be ignored, you can be so good that you can't be ignored. You know, like, try and be original, but also you got to be yourself. Like, find your thing, find the thing you're interested in, and know that getting anywhere takes so much hard work and time and persistence and luck. You can't just like go in there and expect people to watch. I think, you know, I'm very lucky I've been able to take a lot of audience from Good Game to Twitch. I've had such a wonderful leg up with it, but I also feel like you need to do the work. You need to do the work. That's my best advice. Do the work and know that it will take time, and you will be terrible at first. My first few streams were so bad. Luckily, they are deleted.
You just got rid of the evidence.
They're gone. Yeah.
And finally, is there anything here at PAX you're super looking forward to? Maybe if you can sneak away, because I know you are live streaming here in the Twitch booth for a lot of the time. But is there anything you want to really get a look at before the weekend is up?
I want to meet more streamers, because there's so many streamers, big and small, that I've never met and talked to and aren't aware of, because I've been sitting in a box for the last decade. So I really want to meet and like get to know all these other streamers and like talk to them and find out why they stream, what they like. Because the beauty is when you're in a room with a bunch of streamers, it's very different to being in a room with a bunch of actors. So like, actors are awful. I'm not a great actor, I don't think. I think I'm at least a solid 6 out of 10.
Featured zombie though, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Featured zombie, not bad. But you need to, like, a room full of actors is a nightmare. They're awful people. I include myself in this. But when you're in a room of streamers, everyone's so different. Everyone's got their own niche. You know, everyone's got, like, I feel like they're my people, because they're all just passionate about something, and that's why they stream. You know, they're passionate people, and they're not doing it for fame. Not that all actors do it for fame, but it's like, it's such a different vibe. It's like, here's a bunch of awesome creative people doing awesome creative stuff and just making stuff and trying to make a living out of it, a lot of them, you know. And so it's a real, yeah, I want to just get to know more of them.
Well, look, thank you very much for taking time out of the day to chat with us, and all the best over the weekend.
A pleasure. Thanks for having me. Cheers.